Hello everyone. In this video, we will explore one of the most fundamental aspects of the language, that is grammar. We will look at how words are structured in order to form meaningful sentences. We will also discover why grammar is more than just rules. Sometimes when people hear the term grammar, they tend to assume grammar with a lot of rules, but grammar is not just about rules, it's about understanding how the language works. There are some key points that we have to take into account. For example, first, grammar tells us how to arrange words meaningfully. For example, the lucky boys or boys the lucky. So which one do you think is correct? If a person has studied grammar, so it's very easy for them to spot which sentence is correct and which sentence is not correct. Like in this case. In this case, the correct sentence is the lucky boys. Traditional grammar began with Latin and Greek, and it gave us labels like noun, verb, and adjectives. English grammar includes rules of agreement. For example, we say she loves or she love. So which one do you think is correct? As the rule says, English grammar includes rules of agreement. That is to say that the subject must match with the verb. Like in this case, the correct sentence is she loves. There are two views of grammar. We have prescriptive grammar and we have descriptive grammar. So probably at this point, you might be wondering, so what is descriptive grammar and what is prescriptive grammar? Well, that's pretty simple. I will explain to you what is the definition of each of them. Prescriptive grammar is basically about rules, how you should speak, and descriptive grammar is basically in here. This describes how people actually speak. English has 8 main parts of a speech. Each plays a different role in a sentence. For example, adjectives describe nouns, while verbs show actions or states. So let's start with nouns. When we have nouns, we can say dog, city, or idea. But we also have verbs. Remember that a verb can show action or state. Here we can say run, think, or be. Adjective describe nouns. For example, we say old, red, funny. Now we have adverbs. For example, we can say slowly or very. In English, we have a variety of articles, but in here, I will just mention some of them, a, an, or the. Again, prepositions, there are many prepositions in English, but again, I will say some of them, in, on, near, at. Pronouns, here we can use the subject pronouns like I, you, he, she, they, we. And last but not least, we have conjunctions. We have and, because, and there are more conjunctions in English that we can use too. Now, let's talk about agreement and gender. First, let's talk about agreement. Agreement here, the subject and the verb must match. As I gave you one example previously, she love or she loves. Here, the subject must agree with the verb that you are using. In this case, so it should be correct to say she loves and not she love. Now, we also have natural gender. So here probably, again, right, you might question what is that? So here, natural gender, this is based on sex. For example, he or she. Then we have grammatical gender. So here, this is basically based on nouns. For example, like in Spanish, we say la luna. English uses natural gender, but other languages like Spanish or German, they use grammatical gender, where even objects have a masculine or feminine form. Descriptive versus prescriptive grammar. Again, so as I told you a little bit about the beginning of this video, so I will give you more information about these two different terms, descriptive grammar versus prescriptive grammar. So here we have some examples that we have to analyze. Prescriptive grammar. So what is that? Well, basically here, don't split infinitives. So we say to boldly go, and descriptive grammar, it's a little bit different because here it observes the real usage. To boldly go. We have to understand that some grammar rules come from Latin and they don't fit modern English. Descriptive grammar help us see how real people speak today. So in this case, the correct one here that help us a lot, it is descriptive, right? It observes the real usage on how people use the language. Okay, let's continue with the sentence structure. In here, I'm going to explain to you three different languages and how their sentence structure varies from one to another. Let's start working on the first one, that is English. In English, in order to write examples, we have to start first with the subject, then we have to continue with the verb. Remember that the verb is the action or the state, and then we continue with the object. Like here it is subject, verb, and object. For example, we can say, she saw the dog. She saw the dog. Now, in Japanese, here the structure differs a little bit. So in here, we start with the subject. After the subject, we continue with the object. And last, we add the verb. So we say, she, the dog, so. As you see, this differs from English. It's a little bit different. But Gaelic, it's like very different. Why? Because here we start first with the action, with the verb, then we continue with the subject, and then last but not least, we have the object. So we say, so she the dog, so she the dog. So as you see, it's completely different from English and Japanese. So we have to know that languages differ word order. Understanding this helps teachers and learners avoid mistakes when switching between languages or when you are learning a language. So it is crucial to know the sentence structure as it is going to help you a lot. Okay, now it is time to put into practice our knowledge based on what we have studied and learned in this video. So we are going to work on a quiz. We have the first question that says, what is the part of the speech on the of the word recently in the sentence? The woman kept a large snake in a cage, but it escaped recently. Is this a noun, verb, adverb, or conjunction? So again, this is pretty simple because we have the word recently. So it is an adverb because it is telling us the time, that is recently. Let's continue with number two. What is the tense and voice of the verb in the sentence? My parents were married in Rome. In here, we have to analyze first what is the tense that is used in this sentence, right? So is it present tense, active voice, past tense, active voice, present tense, passive voice, past tense, passive voice? So my parents were married in Rome. So it is past tense, passive voice. That's the correct answer. Number three, what is the difference between grammatical gender and natural gender? Okay, grammatical gender is based on biological sex. B, natural gender refers to form of the article used. C, natural gender is based on biological sex. Grammatical gender is a language-based classification. They are the same thing. Of course, they are not the same thing. So in this case is here the orange one, that is natural gender is based on biological sex. Number four, what is the typical word order in English? Okay, so again, remember that it's very easy because we start with the subject, action, that is the verb, and then we continue with the object. So in this case, it should be here, the blue one. Okay, number five says, which of the following is considered a split infinitive? To go boldly, boldly to boldly go, or going boldly to. In here it is to boldly go, the red one. Let's continue with the last one. Which of these pronouns is used as an object? I, he, me, or she? Well, if we analyze this, we are able to realize that I, he, and she, those are pronouns, so those are not objects. So in this case, the correct one here is me, because it is just an object, right? It is used as an object, not as a pronoun. So in this case, it is me. Okay, in order to wrap things up, we have to understand that grammar is more than just memorizing rules. It's about making sense of how the language works together. Whether you are learning English or analyzing another language, grammar helps you become a better speaker, listener, or a teacher. Thanks for watching this video.